Hello, and here we are for round 2 of AOR Season 15, and it takes us to China, which is probably my favourite track on the game, and so I'm sort of hoping for a better performance than last race in Australia, where I came 10th. I mean, there was only a few seconds behind what was 6th place in the end, but so hopefully if I can just have some good pace in this race, I should be able to get a top 5 or so. You can see now this is actually my best lap of the session, so my banker lap put me good enough for P12. But this lap was actually quite a good lap. I felt I was doing a 1:31.8 in time trial, but the conditions weren't exactly favourable in this qualifying. Yes, it was completely dry, but there was a few corners where the sun was glaring quite brightly, so it was quite hard to to judge the braking zones. And also, everyone just seemed to be going a bit slower than time trial pace, so I don't think it was the best conditions, but you can see actually we're 5/10 up on our last lap, which was a 34.2, so not a very good banker lap, but yeah, this lap's looking to be much better, and hopefully we can actually get up inside the top 5 or so if you can get a really good qualifying. Yeah, we've got a 15-man grid this week, which is slightly more than last week, and yeah, right now we're P12, so we should be able to improve on that now, because we're actually 8/10 up now, so this has actually been a really good lap. And you can see actually Vortex up ahead of me. He's actually ironically ahead of me in the placings by one position there in qualifying. But you can see as we cross the final corner, taking it gear 4, and we're going to have a run to the line, and that's going to be a 1:33.4, which is enough for P11 in the end. So it originally put us P6, but I was really surprised because in the end we actually fed out in P11, and Llama managed to do a slightly better lap than us right at the death. So good lap from him. And our teammate actually surprisingly qualifying behind us because he tried to qualify on the softs. So yeah, the strategy is going to be super softs to mediums. I was thinking about going softs to mediums, but I was told that this was the faster strategy, and having not actually done much practice on this, I just really took people's word for it. But here we are, 5 lights, and away we go for round 2, and it's actually quite a good start for us. We're going to be try to be a bit more aggressive than we were last time. So you can see straight away, trying to take a wide line. That's going to allow us to go around the outside. We've already got Vortex. We're going to try to get Llama as well, as somebody's off on the left-hand side. But Llama actually comes across. I don't think he meant to, but that actually hindered us a bit, and we had to let Vortex pass. But now you can see Vortex is going to go side by side with Llama, and Llama's going to try to hold up the inside. They're going to go side by side, but Llama's tagged again. He's out the race, and you can see actually that's Edge who's come out and taken Vortex out. So that's 3 free positions for us. But Llama once again out of the race on the first lap. So yeah, I mean, he had a really good start to THL last season, but yeah, this season in AOI, he's just been crashed out both times on the first lap, so it's very unfortunate there. Meanwhile, we found ourselves in P7, so 4 positions gained on the opening lap, so it's really good. You can see now we're actually gaining a lot under brakes on Horvey, so much so I actually brake really late, and that's going to allow our teammates through, and we're just not really going to put up a fight. So we're down to P8, but I mean, I was really happy with the start, and yeah, I mean, if I was to finish in P8, I would actually not be too disheartened, considering the caliber of field. But you can see that's Kweki, my teammate, who's actually overtaking a few people now. So it seems like him going on to the softs is actually paying out, because the softs already seem to be faster than the supers. And you can see we've actually got Jaeger behind us. He rolled 2 people come off. That's actually 7 and Hyphy Bonbon. And I think they've actually crashed up ahead. So that's 2 more free positions, and now we're up into 6th. And we've got Horvey right ahead of us, who had a really good qualifying, considering last race he was well off the pace. But you can see now this is actually Entity. He was actually leading that one, and now he's all the way down to what would be P5. So I don't know if he's got problems, but he's actually going side by side with Horvey. This is going to give us a good run. We're going to actually try to go to the inside, and yeah, we're just about keeping it neck and neck. But he's going to leave us the space. He's actually going to go a bit wide. That's going to allow us up the inside, and again we're up into P5. So 6 positions gained, but he's actually going to try to hold it around the outside. But we're going to keep it stuck in there. Of course, trying to actually knock back down from moves now, and that's us up into P5, so a really good start. But you can see actually up ahead we've got Entity, who's lagging everywhere, so this is probably why he's dropped back from the lead, and this is really not good for us because he's lagging everywhere. I don't know what to do, and at this point I just thought I had to get the move done. I probably probably a bit of a dive bomb there, but I mean, I just couldn't afford to be stuck behind Entity, because I saw what happened to Llama last race when Vincitious lagged back into him. I just did not want that to happen in this race, considering I had such a good start. And then you can see actually Stephanator's off, and I've just realised I was actually at this point I was up into 2nd place. So considering I started 11th and my teammate started 12th, we were now 1-2 after lap 7. So brilliant start for me and my teammate. Even so, I think a few people did pit early onto mediums. Your Entity punches his way past, and I tried to go straight up, back up his inside. But actually, if I didn't back out of that, it probably would have been the spin. So I had to back out in the end. And Jaeger actually said he lost his front wing on me at that point. So I think Entity was quite aggressive, which is why I tried to be aggressive back to him. But you see, again, he lags back into us. So that was a real scary moment there. Because if he didn't ghost, we would have lost our front wing. And that's actually allowed Jaeger to actually try to attack us. So I don't think he's too happy with us after he lost his front wing on us. But again, I don't think there was much I could have done. I just wanted to keep ahead of Entity because I didn't want that. Well, I didn't want him to lag back into me because I knew my race could be over. You can see we actually stayed out with Menk, who's actually in P3, so he's done quite well. And now we're going to go into the pits. So you can see there's actually a few people on the mediums, and one of them is actually Omar B. So I think he might have pit early. So yeah, I might have lost out a few positions as a result. But yeah, at one point running as high as P2. So yeah, I mean, I was actually sort of thinking a podium could be on, but as you see, you're actually going to pit onto the tyres now. We're going to come out in P8, and yeah, I mean, I thought a few people were actually still going to pit, but I actually soon realised that they'd actually pit onto mediums quite early and managed to do an undercut on me, because the Superstars don't really stretch for 10 laps, so I think I've probably stayed out a few too many laps on them in hindsight, but it's easy to say there. But you can see actually we got Savage and Stephanator behind us, and these two came second and third respectively last race, so it's going to be quite a challenge holding them off, considering they're some of the fastest races in the field. But you can see Savage just absolutely dives bombs me in that corner. So I don't know if it was like if I broke late or not, but I wasn't having any of it. I wasn't letting him pass after that move, even if I did break early. And yeah, he actually got flung off to the side of it. But I mean, I wasn't expecting that at all, and it was such a late break. I mean, if I didn't abandon my turn-in altogether, it would have definitely been a crash, maybe even a T-bone. So that was very violent of him. But you see Stephanator now up the inside. I'm leaving him ample room, and he just drives me off the track. So yeah, I mean, the aggression in this league, well, far more aggressive than what I've been. And I mean, I was way too passive last race, but I mean, that's almost to the other end of the spectrum. I mean, I'm trying to leave as much space as possible, but you can see there, Stephanator completely leaving me no room, and here comes Savage, and he does exactly the same. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really too happy with those two moves. I guess I understand they could have been a bit bored getting stuck behind me, the slower driver, but still you have to leave room, like Jaeger actually does, quite respectfully. Of course, I've actually raced him quite a lot of times in other league races, so I mean, we know each other quite well, so of course we're a bit more respectful of each other, and we leave as much room as possible. But yeah, I mean, still I could tell he was a bit angry after the race, talking to him because he broke his front wing on me. But again, trying to go around his outside, but he is defending quite well, harsh but fair, so I'm not able to go around his outside. But yeah, still I'm in P9, which I didn't know how I'd gone from 2nd to 9th, but I was still quite happy with this. And Horvey actually now pitting, so I'm now in P8. So it's much better than what I was actually doing in Australia, so which is good. And now we've got right behind Jaeger still, but we actually got a penalty this time. But we were able to keep with Jaeger really well, which was brilliant, considering that, of course, he was the fastest guy in THL. And yes, he might not like this track, but he's got amazing race pace. And he practices a bit more than me as well. So to keep up with Jaeger was, even on my favourite track, was really good right now. And I thought, well, top 7 was still on the cards. As you can see now, I'm actually going to pull to the outside of Jaeger. Battle for P7. He's going to go defensive. I saw the cutback, and we're going to clip the apex really well. We're going to get a cutback. We're going to go side by side with him. And Jaeger's actually going to cover us up a bit. He's going to squeeze us off. We actually have to break early. And otherwise, you probably could have got shoved off into the grass there. But again, we're just going to get a good run on him. And Jaeger's going to take the inside line. He's not going to move over on us. He's going to give us ample room on the outside. And we're going to go side by side into the next corner. We're actually ahead into the braking zone. But we're actually leaving him a lot of space on the inside. And I probably could have turned in there because I was ahead of him. But yeah, just not wanting to crash with him, of course, racing him in other leagues and leaving him a lot of space. And that ultimately leads to us actually conceding the position again. But overall, my driving was actually much better than Australia. I mean, I only picked up 1 penalty instead of about 4 or 5, and also I was being much more aggressive, gaining lots of positions, and defending quite well. Of course, I was still being respectful in the process, but yeah, it's a much better performance than Australia so far. But you can see now I've got Horvey behind me, and if I'm not careful, I actually might slip down to P9. Of course, there's much more higher caliber field than last race, with more races just in this race in general, because a few people actually missed last race, so it's going to be much harder to get into the points than last race. You can see now it's still in P8, but Jaeger's beginning to pull, and actually we're beginning to pull on Horvey, who's actually, although he's on super softs, he's not really accustoming well to the wet, and he's now down to P10, so I don't know what's going on there. But you can see actually we're catching Savage, so after he sort of savagely shoved us off, it seems like he's actually struggling on his tyres. So yeah, I think he pit early. So now this is lap 28. DRS was actually disabled on lap 27, so now we're squirming around. You can see, just look at the wheel movements, just to keep the car in a straight line. So yeah, definitely we could have probably put on to intermediates on lap 27, but a 2 laps underneath some intermediates didn't seem worthwhile. But you can see Kawecki, our teammate, wins it from 12th on the grid. So what a race from him. Of course, he was facing backwards on Australia, finished 4th. And now with that win, he's going to take the championship lead. Meanwhile, we're just trying to navigate the last 2 corners, blocking up again into the final corner, the penultimate corner. And yeah, just all very struggling. But you see, oh no, that's Savage up ahead. He's run out of fuel. And we're actually going to overtake him for P7. As we cross the last corner, we go into gear 3. We've actually lost the back end. Oh gosh, and we binned it on the final corner of the final lap. And I've got to say, after the race, I was just gutted. Completely gutted. I mean, 27 laps. Practically 28 laps of what, in my opinion, was really good driving from my part, and then we just binned P7 on the final corner. So absolutely gutting, and in the end we lose the position to Horvey, Hyphy Bonbon, and Savage. So yeah, and you can see we actually slipped to P11 in the standings. You see Kawecki goes from 4th to 1st. Entity slips down to 2nd. Stephanator stays in 3rd, and Savage slips down to 4th. 7 actually getting a really good result as well, considering he was actually in a collision a bit earlier. You can see in the constructors, we're actually 2nd now, just a bit behind Red Bull. McLaren are in P3, with Mercedes P4, Williams P5, Toro Rosso P6, and Force India P7. So you can see the race results. Kawecki actually wins by a few seconds over 7. Omar gets 3rd, so the Mercedes having a really good points all that race. And yeah, that's just going to be it for this week. Next week is Baku. See you next time.